Hello, welcome to our video. I'm James Keating, and we're going to be talking about a Bowie knife that many of you have asked me about over the years. It's been in several videos or DVDs, and people have always been interested just because it's such a large, dramatic Bowie knife. So I thought we'd just look at it a little bit. I'd tell you a little bit about who made it, give you a size comparison, and give you an idea, because it's a custom knife. It's something that was given to me as a gift. It was made by Wade Duvall, and Wade lives in Dixie, Washington, which is just outside of Walla Walla. Wade also made a number of throwing axes, and in Tomahawk DVD, Volume 1, you'll see Wade in there with us throwing tomahawks. Well, that's the guy who made this Bowie knife. It has a coffin handle. The large guard attracts many people. They really like that feature. And even though it was made way back in the day, you can see I still ask him to put in the Spanish notch down there at the bottom. And that's something, I think, a big Bowie knife with a guard like this, where very much of a catcher, will induce other blades to come right in there and be trapped. And so it's a pretty neat blade. It was made from a planer blade. Now, we had a lumber mill here. I believe it was a Louisiana Pacific, and they brought in trees from all over. Now that lumber mill is closed, but this was at one time a planer blade from that mill. And so Wade got a bunch of that steel and decided to make some knives. He wasn't a professional knife maker at the time. He just decided to do this. And he's that type of guy who can just do things and do them really well right off the bat. One of the strongest men I ever knew as well could pick a snowmobile up by himself and put it in the back of a truck, which is a good trick. So he's a very strong man. He trained with us for a long time, made us trainers as well as axes, as well as these type knives. Some people say, what is that noise when you move it? The guard is a little, you can hear it. See, I don't mind it. It doesn't mean like the knife's coming apart. It just means it has that flex, which I like, a little bit of give. So when you move it, you can hear. Now, when people say, well, what about the size? Well, I don't have a tape measure with me here today, but I do have a cold steel Natchez Bowie. So we can kind of give you a size comparison. And you can see that even though the Natchez is a big knife, the Bowie knife that's been in the videos that I'm talking about is also a little bit bigger. Quite a bit bigger, actually. Heftier. The one thing I will give this is, notice the curvature. This has that subtle curvature, the cold steel, that mimics a saber, and it makes the carving cuts real easy to do. It lends itself to that stroke, where a knife without the curvature that this has, it doesn't lend itself to that. So as far as just a good feeling knife, the Natchez is top of the line, and it's a production knife, and I know many of you own these. Some like cold steel, some don't. But as far as hitting the blade concept dead on, I'm really like this. And I recommend it. It moves well. This coffin handle Bowie made by Wade Duvall, it also moves well. It's very thin, that's I would say 3/16. It's not a thick 1/4 inch type spine where you have a lot of weight. And so it's just a really neat knife. It's something that's been in my collection, made by a friend, and I use it in DVDs. I've never really taken it out and chopped wood or done anything abusive to it because I like it too much. I have other knives, Trailmasters and things for that. And I'm sure it would acquit itself quite well if I did. And yeah, the swag is sharp. He sharpened the hell out of that too, just like we like. So anyway, for basically what you'd say an amateur who tackled to make a knife, tackled knife making out of the blue, I think he did a real good job, and I'm real happy with it. And I believe there were some pictures of me kind of in an old setting, like a ghost town setting, holding this at one point in a fighting knives magazine back in the probably in the 90s, maybe 94. So anyway, you'll see this around over many years, and if we ever get a chance to train together or exchange some thoughts, maybe some of you will even get to handle it and see it one of these days. So anyway, we'll conclude this one. I'm Jim Keating. Thanks for watching this knife review, and I hope it informs you a little bit about where this big old monster Bowie came from that we all seem to like so much.